Welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We're glad to have you join us. I am Lydia Odiji Ochi. We begin on a rather sad note. It was a gory sight at the scene of a fatal accident in Suleja, where a car crashed and left 8 school children dead and others fighting for their lives. Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji reports on the tragedy. However, viewer discretion is advised.
An eyewitness recounts that the driver of this car was on high speed when he suddenly tried to overtake another vehicle in front and lost control during a heavy downpour on the Suleja highway linking the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway.
Then somebody said, where is this man going? Then that drew my attention. He wanted to overtake the second one. And these children are moving in clusters in the other side of the road. 3 of them, they are about to cross the road to the other side. Before he realized, he had the brake, but actually, he couldn't control the car.
That judgment call proved fatal as the driver rammed into a group of students on their way home after closing hours. Body count revealed 5 dead on the scene, while 3 who were promptly rushed to the general hospital gave up the ghost.
Initially, we have this intention to put speed breaker on that road because it's a new road to also check the speed of motorists.
However, 4 victims are currently lying critically injured at the hospital as NTA crew was barred from speaking to them or any medical personnel. Efforts to get a reaction from the school of the victims also met a brick wall as authorities simply turned back everyone seen approaching the premises. Several efforts to get the reactions of authorities like the Federal Road Safety Corps and the Nigerian Police Force were not successful. I'm Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji, NTA News.
May the souls of the departed rest in peace. The Supreme Court is currently hearing the appeal filed by Eyitayo Jegede of the PDP seeking the removal of Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. Eyitayo Jegede, who contested the October 10, 2020 governorship election under the platform of PDP, is praying the Supreme Court to void the election of Oluwarotimi Akeredolu as his nomination by the APC Caretaker Committee Chairman and Governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, was a violation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The appellant argues that as a sitting governor of a state, appending his signature to the nomination of candidature of Akeredolu to INEC violated the constitutional powers of a governor as stipulated in Section 183 of the Constitution. Austin Anyebe reports that respondents' counsel during the adoption of addresses have argued that nomination and sponsorship of candidates in an election is an internal affair of political parties. They further argued that PDP and its candidate did not challenge the nomination until after the election, making its status barred, as the issue raised is a pre-election matter. The court stood down, proceeding to reconvene at 12 noon later in the day. Critical stalwarts of the All Progressives Congress in Borno State have agreed to adopt consensus mode of elections in the forthcoming states congresses of the party. This was during a meeting of the APC stakeholders held at the Government House, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
The meeting of the critical stakeholders, which had in attendance Governor Babagana Umar Azlim, Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafuru, former Governors Senator Maina Maji Lawan and Senator Kashim Shetima, as well as APC State Chairman Ali Bukar Dalori, was convened in line with what is enshrined in the APC Constitution for the adoption of a method for the 3 levels of elections. Others in attendance include former Deputy Governors, past and present members of the National and State Assemblies, as well as state political officials. Once the stage was set, a motion was moved by the Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur, which was seconded by Abdul Musa Micheliza. When the motion was thrown to the statutory delegates in attendance, it was unanimously endorsed for the adoption of the consensus method.
We shall go back to our local government headquarters to conduct these ward and local government conferences.
We have a history of transparency, of equity and justice in the emergence of our leaders, and history is just repeating itself.
We are already stressed to the tilt. I don't think our people deserve further stress to go to all wards and run some competitive congresses.
I'm the Borno, Samaso, stakeholder, Semme.
We convened all stakeholders to choose between the three options: consensus, direct or indirect methods, as contained in the party constitution.
We all decided, unanimously decided, that the best way to go under the circumstance and for ease and with all the stakeholders there is to take the first option, which is guaranteed in the constitution of APC.
The worst congresses in Borno are expected to come up on the 31st of this month. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
The administration of justice in Nigeria has continued to record successes and milestones with the periodic addition of new legal practitioners to the number of advocates. Olabode Arewa reports that the challenges occasioned by COVID-19 could not disrupt this year's call to bar ceremony.
Those are the new wigs taking the oath of allegiance to be faithful ministers in the Temple of Justice. 4,350 candidates, representing 75.11% of the total number of students who were in law school, successfully scaled through the 2021 bar final examinations. Family and friends were on hand to felicitate with them on the special occasion. For the new wigs, it is a dream come true.
Wow, experience in Nigerian law school it's a memory I want to keep forever.
I believe it's a privilege for one to be called to the bar.
Elated. I'm happy to be here.
Chairman Body of Benchers, Justice Body Rosevival, in a charge, advised them to sustain the tradition of discipline associated with the legal profession.
As a lawyer, you are expected to represent or defend your client when called upon. In so doing, you are to remain committed to the best interests of your client.
Each of the aspirants and found them worthy to be presented for call to the Nigerian bar.
Among recent advancements recorded by the Council of Legal Education are the new campuses of the Nigerian Law School in Yenagua and Port Harcourt. In Abuja, Labodarewa, NTA News.
The Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPADEC, is enhancing safety measures for disadvantaged communities around the waterways against looming flood and other disasters. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that this came to the fore during a high-powered stakeholders engagement on the review of its roadmap for covering areas under the commission.
It is an annual occurrence for communities around the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPADEC, to come under siege of flood. Now, with the 2021 predicted annual rainfall, which may likely wash away many homes and farmlands, stakeholders are meeting to wear their thinking caps on how to avoid a sad future for HYPADEC communities.
So by the time we finish with the needs assessment, we are confident that we will be able to start delivering meaningful projects to the communities. Already the National Assembly has approved our IGR budget for this year, which now give us justification to expand for the purpose of the communities.
The Commission is also working closely with communities to identify areas of needs and provide lasting solutions, with the removal of tree logging on waterways as immediate priority owing to incessant boat mishaps.
You have a situation where there's overloading of boats. You have a situation where the host communities travel in the night. You have a situation where they don't use life jackets. Now, HYPADEC will educate these people.
The 6 states of HYPADEC are also on the move for rapid socio-economic growth and development on a sustainable roadmap of short and long-term programs. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The need for adequate planning and preparedness towards disaster management has been reiterated. This was at the maiden annual Emergency Disaster Management Summit ongoing in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Joy Uzo was there.
History was made as hybrid professionals in emergency and disaster management converged on Port Harcourt. The mission is simple: to rub minds, deliberate and share ideas on globally acceptable response mechanisms in handling man-made and natural disasters in the country. Declaring the conference open, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who was represented, encapsulated Nigeria's efforts in managing the situation, but called for more holistic approach and synergy.
So we solicit assistance and support towards what government is doing.
We need to build human capacity because the technology cannot work on its own. So immediately we have that capacity, we're able to respond to disaster when it occurs.
Peculiar challenges remain: recurrent erosion, terrorism, farmers' herders crisis, human trafficking, fire outbreaks, and most recently the COVID-19 pandemic. With the theme, Greater Meta Leadership in Disaster Management in Nigeria, Planning, Preparedness and Response. These experts say couldn't be more apt in finding a lasting solution. NTA's Director General Yakubu Ibn Mohamed, represented by the Executive Director Admin and Training, Professor Steve Egbo, urged media practitioners to exercise caution while reporting disaster-related events.
Both the media practitioners, the men and women in government, to continue to do all that is necessary to protect the members of the fourth estate of the realm in the discharge of their responsibilities to the society.
High point was conferment of honorary fellowship on deserving professionals in Port Harcourt. Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Now to matters concerning health. The provision of automated blood screening components will ensure appropriate clinical use of blood in hospitals, as well as minimize transmissible infections like HIV and hepatitis in Nigeria. The Minister of Health, Osage Ehanire, said this at the inauguration of the National Blood Transfusion Service Component Separation System and Automated Blood Screening Equipment in Abuja. Uche Ogochukwu reports.
Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver, which causes a range of health problems, including cancer of the liver. Medical science identifies 5 main strains of the hepatitis virus, which are the A, B, C, D, and E strains. Researchers have revealed that hepatitis B and C are the most common causes of death, with about 1.3 million lives lost each year.
B somewhat stays permanent, and then C. Once you're infected with C, there is factor for you to develop hepatocellular cancer, that's tumor of the liver, cancer of the liver in the future, in the long run.
And it's caused by a variety of different conditions, like infections like viruses, like alcohol, like drugs, or it could even run in families and some genetic conditions.
Signs and symptoms of acute hepatitis include fatigue, flu-like symptoms, dark urine, pale stool, yellow skin and eyes, as well as unexplained weight loss. To prevent this life-threatening health problem, experts advise against smoking, alcoholism, sharing of sharp objects, multiple sex partners, and other unhealthy practices.
Hepatitis B can be gotten from transmitted through blood, saliva, body secretions also. Vaccination is very essential to prevent hepatitis infection.
2021 World Hepatitis Day, commemorated on July 28 yearly, has the theme, Hepatitis Can't Wait, conveying the urgency of efforts needed to eliminate hepatitis as a public health threat by 2030. In Uyo, Ifoma Aihuchi.
More on hepatitis. Hepatitis Can't Wait is the focus of this year's World Hepatitis Day. The theme is to convey the urgency needed to eliminate hepatitis as a public health threat by 2030. The day also brings the world together to raise awareness on the global burden of viral hepatitis, as well as influence the real change Basi Taipang in this report takes a look at the significance of the Hepatitis Day in the face of COVID-19.
World Health Organization report shows that one person dies every 30 seconds from a hepatitis-related illness, even in the current COVID-19 crisis. Experts say world leaders cannot wait to act on viral hepatitis now. About 400 million people are said to live with the virus globally, with 1.4 dying every year.
If you take the disease burden, the mortality rate, the epidemiological indices of hepatitis, it's quite apt that this year's theme for hepatitis, the World Hepatitis Day, that hepatitis can't wait, has been chosen.
More worrisome, experts say, is the fact that most people living with this virus do not even know their status.
Know what hepatitis truly is? They will say no. Do you know the symptoms of hepatitis? They will say no. Do you know what causes hepatitis? They will say no. Do you know what you need to do to prevent yourself from contracting hepatitis? They will say no. And that forms the reason, the basis for creating a lot of awareness.
The Director General WHO observed that while testing and treatment remains key to the elimination of hepatitis, strong focus should be on prevention.
Crucially, our efforts to eliminate hepatitis must be embedded in our efforts to achieve universal health coverage based on strong health systems that enable people to access all the health services they need without facing financial hardship.
While stressing the need for people to get tested and if negative, get vaccinated, experts say the fight to eliminate hepatitis starts now and starts with you. Basi Taipang, NTA News.
To talk more on the World Hepatitis Day, I'm being joined by Dr. Akude Christian, a consultant family physician in Abuja. You're welcome to Nationwide.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, we have alarming statistics of an estimated 290 million people living with viral hepatitis who do not know that they even have it at all in the first place. And more worrisome is the report that every 30 seconds, someone dies from hepatitis-related illnesses. How best should this be addressed?
Okay, thank you for the invitation. Concerning hepatitis, let me briefly talk about hepatitis. Hepatitis simply means inflammation or swelling of the liver. Several things can cause hepatitis, including infectious and non-infectious causes. But emphasis will be on infectious, but I need to briefly mention the non-infectious causes like use of drugs, some toxins, chemicals, alcohol, and the likes. So those are non-infectious causes of hepatitis. And for the infectious causes, we have organisms, usually viruses, bacteria, protozoa, fungi. Among these organisms, with regard to the viruses, the hepatotropic viruses like hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, which we focus on, and things like HIV virus, COVID virus. So all those ones too can cause hepatitis. With regard to the hepatotropic viruses, hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E, the B and C are the troublesome ones. Okay. Of these two, again, hepatitis B will be our focus. So these organisms, once they get into the system, which I'm sure we'll discuss in the course of this program, causes damage to the liver that presents in various ways.
Wow. Now, how often do people avail themselves for vaccination?
Vaccination is a preventive approach to the care. Before then, health education, which we are trying to do now, is important. Vaccination for hepatitis B in particular is protective as much as 95%.
Okay.
So for those who are vaccinated, they have that protection from getting hepatitis. And aside from they getting it, it also saves other people around them, because for those who are not vaccinated, the risk of contracting this hepatitis increases. So vaccination is ultimately the target, if we can get as many people as possible to get vaccinated. But before vaccination, you need to have some form of testing, because if you don't test, you will know your status. For those who test and are negative, then we can talk of vaccine. But if you test and you're positive, we'll talk about treatment.
Okay.
That's a different approach entirely.
Yes, I want to ask, how aware are people about hepatitis?
In terms of awareness is, can I use the word dicey? People have different interpretations as to what hepatitis is, you know. But medically, we have an idea of what we know. But for the society, hepatitis means different things to different people. You know, people don't even know what causes hepatitis in the first place. I tried initially to talk about the infectious and non-infectious causes of hepatitis. So, and then people take a lot of traditional medicines, which for some reason can also cause hepatitis. And then in the name of treatment, people end up taking those things that will even worsen the condition. So by the time they come to the hospital, the liver is almost gone. When I say gone, I mean damaged.
Now, how best can issues concerning self-denial, myths, and also stigmatization be addressed?
Denial with regard to diseases is not peculiar to hepatitis. And denial to some extent has to do with stigmatization. You know, interestingly, with hepatitis and hepatitis B, it's even a bigger problem than HIV. You know, the problem with HIV is the stigmatization, and to some extent, because people feel you got it from promiscuity, sexual intercourse, and all of that. Interestingly, hepatitis B is also contracted through sexual intercourse.
Okay.
And so, as we are trying to inform the community, the populace, with regard to hepatitis, with time we'll have problems with stigmatization. Because if more people know that contracting hepatitis B through sex or blood or use of sharps, and people would rather keep it to themselves than tell the populace. So for now, we don't have much of a problem concerning hepatitis because people have different ideas as to what causes it.
Okay, I've heard in some quarters that you can even contact it by touching somebody who has it through sweats. Is it true?
Okay, hepatitis, with regard to the hepatotropic virus, is hepatitis A, B, C, D, E. Hepatitis A and E are gotten through fecal-oral means. That's through contaminated water and food. B, C, and D is gotten through blood and body fluids. So sweat, not to a large extent, but blood. And so if you have an open wound, for instance, and you have a cut, an abrasion, or you have a blood splash into your eye, or for those who do piercings, and the instruments are not sterilized, and in the hospitals, use of needles to give injection, and then, you know, sometimes in the course of our work, we have blood splash, or we have a needle stick. And if you are not vaccinated, that becomes a problem. So it's not just about touching the skin. It has to be about a breach in this, because skin is protective. So if you have an open wound and then this blood comes in contact,
okay, now finally,
it becomes a problem.
Finally, is there hope in sight for a cure? Is it possible?
Okay, with regard to hepatitis B, because we are trying to zero it now. Like in HIV too, the aim is actually to suppress the virus to levels where one cannot infect the next person. Drugs are available, injections are available for this purpose. Well, in terms of cure, that's not the target because of the nature of the virus. The idea is to treat it and not necessarily cure it. So, but drugs are available for that.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us on Nationwide.
You're welcome.
Thank you for enlightening us on hepatitis.
Thank you.
We've been talking with Dr. Akude Christian, a consultant family physician in Abuja. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We now join Ruth Samuel Ario in Lagos for more on Nationwide. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Lydia. The current economic realities facing Nigeria are to a large extent affected by the media presentation of reports on violent scenarios and insecurity. Amaka Owo reports that this is why experts are advocating professionalism on the part of media practitioners in the interest of the country.
It is a general observation that all media platforms are being awash on a daily basis with negative news depicting violent scenarios that occur in various parts of the country. To this end, experts say that some online sources sometimes become purveyors of fake news as they sacrifice ethical principles of the profession in the quest to become the first to break the news, which often leads to some unverified information in circulation.
Even among the traditional media, there is a need for us to retool. These days, you see news reportage with faces of minors on screen. You see brutalized cadavers.
Now, coming to the traditional media of communication, the reportage of violence does no good to any society.
With the media dwelling so much on violent scenarios, security and economic analysts say there are likely implications.
And now that is a problem that our own media in the country don't understand. We should be learning how to use our diversity very well, whereby we see ourselves as the same country.
In spite of all the reporting, you still have investors definitely coming to Nigeria because they are getting more and more informed and they are aware of the degree of truth in some of those reports.
The clamor for responsible journalism is by no means to restrict the media, but to ensure balance and unbiased reportage. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
The federal government recently placed Lagos, Abuja, Oyo, Rivers, Kaduna, Kano, and Plateau states on red alert following confirmation of the Delta variant and rising cases of new COVID-19 infections and hospitalization in the country. Hengino John Adams tells us more.
Most Nigerians were relieved when the number of COVID-19 cases went on a steady decline, signaling the end of the second wave of the pandemic. Just when it seemed like the country was out of the woods, the third wave swooped in, dashing hopes of a return to normalcy. The latest surge has come with tougher challenges, even as the highly contagious Delta variant has been tagged a variant of concern by the World Health Organization.
It affects younger population. It causes more severe form of disease. If you look at Nigeria, more than 80% of Nigeria populations are below the age of 40 years.
With reported cases of the Delta variant in Nigeria, medical experts emphasize that vaccination, in addition to other preventive measures, are the options available to stay protected.
For all you know, the Delta variant might not be the last mutation of global concern that we see.
Findings reveal that COVID-19 as a virus keeps mutating and has the tendency to be more aggressive. This is why government and other key players are calling on Nigerians to cooperate with safety guidelines in order to nip the third wave in the bud.
In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
We'll now go on a break. Nationwide, we'll be back with Asmao in Sokoto shortly.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth Entrepreneurship Support Years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Basic Directing Techniques. Date 2nd August to 27th August 2021. 4 weeks. New Technologies. Optical Fiber. IP Technologies. Automation Storage Management and Wireless Technology. Date 9th August to 13th August 2021. 1 week. Transmitter Operation and Maintenance. Date 23rd August to 27th August 2021. 1 week. Advanced Broadcast Accounting and Auditing, date 30th August to 24th September 2021, 4 weeks. Emotional Intelligence for Workplace Efficiency, date 6th September to 17th September 2021, 2 weeks. The course fee for the 4-week course is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for the 2-week course is 80,000 naira, while the course fee for the 1-week course is 60,000 naira only, accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803 079 53335 or 0806 980 9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. The National Emergency Management Agency has redeemed its pledge of assistance to victims of Sokoto's Central Market fire incident. Sheikh Muhammad Datti reports that relief materials were given to the affected traders through the Sokoto state government. The report.
Items distributed include bundles of roofing sheets, ceiling, 25 kilogram bags of rice, 25 kilogram bags of corn, tinned tomatoes, salt, and cooking oil, among others. The items, which were received by the Sokoto State Government, were handed over to the Market Traders Union for distribution to ensure fairness and justice. Distributing the items to his members, Chairman of the Central Market Traders said the gesture will help cushion the effect of the inferno on the affected traders. While appreciating the federal government for the gesture, he called for redemption of its pledge of collaborating with the state government to remodel the market to international standard. He affirmed that all the 4,135 affected traders will get their share of the items.
We want to call to all our senators, all our reps, all our representatives like ambassadors who represent Sokoto State in the federal civil service to collaborate and unite and struggle to make sure that the federal government fulfill its promise to us.
Some of the beneficiaries thanked the federal government for the gesture, calling for reconstruction of the affected shops to enable them to continue with their businesses. It could be recalled that the Sokoto Central Market was affected by a fire outbreak months back, which led to destruction of properties worth billions of naira. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol has asked the new Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Haliru Baba, to use his expertise to move the service forward. Governor Tambol was speaking when he received on courtesy visit the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service at Government House, Sokoto. Dalata Abdullahi reports.
The visit by the Controller General, Nigerian Correctional Services, is homecoming, being an indigene of Sokoto, the seat of the Caliphate. He was nominated for the rank by President Muhammadu Buhari in February 2021, and his appointment took effect on the 10th of May 2021. He joined the Correctional Service in 1990 as Assistant Superintendent of the service. He rose through the ranks to Assistant Controller General of the service in 2018. Before his appointment at the CG, he was the head of the Directorate of Finance and Accounts of the service.
Because I think this is paramount. Wherever you are, particularly we indigenous of the Caliphate, we have to show that we are more patriotic, more trustful.
Sokoto has, by this recent appointment, really attracted recognition of the government at the center. Importantly, I commend all of you who have been recently elevated to these positions, particularly in your own case, for your services to the country.
The Controller General was accompanied on the visit by the Controller in charge of Sokoto Correctional Services Center, among other officials of the service. In Sokoto, Dalata Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. The news will continue with Lydia in Abuja.
Many thanks, Asma'u. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by the PDP candidate Eyitayo Jegede in the October 2020 Ondo State governorship election, challenging the legality of the governor's nomination by the APC caretaker chairman Mai Malabuni to stand for election. Austin Anyebe has the report.
It was a panel of 7 justices that had the appeal presided over by Justice Mary Peter Odili. At the end, 4 were in the majority, while 3 were in the minority.
The majority justices who held that the appeal was incompetent said the appellants abandoned the case when it failed to join the APC Caretaker Committee chairman Mai Malabuni, who was accused of holding 2 executive positions when he signed the nomination and sponsorship letter of Akeredolu to INEC, contrary to the provision of Section 183 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, saying allowing the appeal to succeed will amount to shaving his hair in his absence. But those on the minority heard that by virtue of the All Progressive Congress joined in the suit, the acting caretaker chairman has been joined, and went further to say that allowing the serving governor to hold another executive position violates the provision of Section 183 of the Constitution as it relates to the office of the governor. At the end, the majority decision closed the matter with the appeal dismissed.
It was a keenly fought battle, but at the end of the day, the law has vindicated us, so I'm so happy about it.
A constitutional infringement is a void act. So the Court of Appeal came up with this contention that they ought to have been made, he ought to have been made a party. And that contention is that there is no basis you can make an agent of a disclosed principal a party.
The decision by the Apex Court has put to rest the legal tussle against the October 2020 election of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. From the Supreme Court, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Residents of Dansadao community in Maru local government area of Zamfara state are fleeing from their homes due to the recent upsurge in armed banditry and kidnapping in the area. Against this, some of the villagers staged a peaceful procession to the Zamfara State House of Assembly complex Gusau, advocating heightened security. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
Dansado Emirate in Maru local government area of Zamfara state is one of the areas most hit by the activities of armed bandits over the years. And the situation seems to have worsened recently. Residents of the area are now massively fleeing their homes for safety. Some members of the community staged a peaceful procession to the Zamfara State House of Assembly complex to formally lodge their complaint on the situation and the ardent need for the government to come to their aid.
Dansado has been the background of all the farming in Zamfara state. To tell you the fact, up to now, we have not planted anything in Dansado.
The concerned residents who carried placards bearing various inscriptions said though security personnel deployed to the area are doing their best to contain the situation, there is need for urgent deployment of more troops to the area. Zamfara State House of Assembly member representing Maru South constituency Kabiru Hashim Dansado said more steps have been taken to reinforce the ongoing military operation in the area. He however regretted that activities of informers constitute great obstacle to the ongoing efforts to achieving lasting peace in the emirate.
That's the biggest problem and challenges we are having. When we have a plan of this, the informers will destroy a plan. One of the informers who was caught, he set himself ablaze. So with this situation, the state government has taken an drastic measure to arrest the informers.
Meanwhile, the demonstrators vowed not to go back to their homes until their safety is guaranteed. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And now to the education sector. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB has cleared and released the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME results of 14,620 candidates under investigation. A statement issued by the board's head of public affairs, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, says the board also withdrew results of 14 candidates earlier released, as well as that of 93 other candidates still withheld. It will be recalled that the board in its earlier release said it is reviewing the results of the 2020 UTME exercise, and any candidate found wanting would have his or her result withheld. This decision followed consideration and approval of the recommendations by investigators set up by the board's management at a management meeting held on Tuesday, 27 July 2021. We now join Enugu for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Lydia. Welcome to Enugu. As the federal government continues to re-strategize in the battle against the coronavirus, especially with the emergence of the new Delta variant, Enugu State government says it is committed to the national guidelines and world best practices in the fight against the pandemic. In view of this, the State Steering Committee of the Nigeria COVID-19 Preparedness and Response Project, COPREP, has been inaugurated. Susan Eze has the details.
Since the World Health Organization in May 2021 named and described the Delta variant of the coronavirus as a variant of concern, the world and indeed Nigeria have serious cause for concern due to the easy spread of the new variant. The Nigeria COVID-19 Preparedness and Response Project is one of the strategies to handle the situation with the confirmation of the stubborn variant in the country, as states are urged to also increase their level of preparedness and response. The inauguration of the Enugu State Steering Committee on COPREP, the government says, is to create a synergy with the federal government, as the committee will oversee the implementation of the project at the state level.
The responsibilities of the committee include the following: review progress reports to ensure timely implementation of the project, oversee the state coordinating unit to ensure timely implementation of the project.
Having faced critical challenges since the outbreak of the pandemic, Enugu State government has, however, built 5 isolation and treatment centers and an infectious diseases specialist hospital. And the State Commissioner for Health, who is the chairman of the COPREP committee, is confident that with strong collaboration with the federal team and the development partners, the battle against the pandemic can be won. Membership for the 11-man committee is drawn from relevant ministries, agencies, and international partner organizations. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Following the extension of NIN-SIM verification and enrollment deadline by the federal government, Nigerians have called on the relevant authorities to provide more registration centers to make the exercise stress-free. Chidi Okorafor monitored some registration centers in the metropolis and now reports.
During the visit to the Federal Secretariat in the state, which happened to be a NIN-SIM registration center, NTA News crew observed the frustration in the faces of prospective registrants as they were seen in queues waiting for their turn. Most of them, even though enrolled, described the exercise as tedious and very slow.
Here in our place, we find him, we come jump pack morning till night, sometimes we'll be here, morning till night, we come another day because of no available place to register it. It's only a few places this side.
Before you can be able to get the thing, you spend a lot of time because the queue is too much. People are coming from all the whole Enugu is coming in.
They, however, encourage Nigerians to get registered. Enugu State Coordinator, National Identity Management Commission, declined comments. The federal government had further extended the NIN-SIM verification deadline to October 31 as against earlier July 26, 2021. The decision, according to reports, was made following a request by stakeholders to accommodate registration in hard-to-reach remote areas, foreigners and diplomatic missions, low enrollment in schools, among others. According to statistics, there are over 5,500 enrollments within and outside the country as of July 25, 2021. In Enugu, Chidi Okrafo, NTN News.
And that is it from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Felicia in Jos after this commercial break. Do stay.
A new edition of TV Guide is out exclusively with Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
Since assuming office, our rescue administration has pursued the path of peace and reconciliation and restored confidence among people of different ethnic, religious, and political persuasions. Peace is back on the plateau. We are building world-class infrastructure in roads and opening up opportunities for innovation.
The edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from entertainment, economy, sports, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up a copy and keep abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Dear compatriots, our country can be as great as we want.
Let us all commit ourselves to its greatness.
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
In our expansive landmass, human and material resources, and plurality lies our strength.
Let our challenges lead us to rediscover our common ground, and together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time, so it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from every one of us.
Let all hands come on deck to protect and transform our country.
Let us unite and see each other not as adversaries, but as brothers and sisters.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and for the next generations.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with support from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
The future belongs to those who leverage on digital innovations. Digital Peers International presents DigiTest Online 2021, an online summer camp that brings ages 8 to 18 together across Nigeria, Canada, US, and more countries. Theme: Digital Skills, Pathway to Prosperity. Date: 8 to 16 August 2021. At DigiTest, kids and teens will unearth their potential to create digital products with possibilities of making profits online. Participation would be virtual with few physical non-residential at the DigiTest Center, Abuja, and we all enjoy a level playing field to compete with students across the globe. Lots of prizes to be won. Give your kids an opportunity of a lifetime today for only 5,000 Naira for virtual and 20,000 Naira for physical. To register, visit our website at www.digitalpeers.org/DigiTestOnline2021 or call 08077823307 or 08077823308.
Jos. As part of efforts to equip personnel in the fight against insecurity, the Nigerian Defense Academy is training its 68 regular cadets at the Leadership and Citizenship Training Center, Sherry Hills, Jos. Yildik Danladi reports.
The training includes assault course, initiative tests, parachute jump, as well as rafting. This is designed to test the cadets' leadership skills, physical fitness, map reading, command and control capabilities, as well as other military competencies.
We are very, very happy for having this opportunity to rappel from this Gog and Magog hill.
The cadets were at the Gog and Magog for the rock climbing and abseiling exercise, which the commandant of the Nigerian Defense Academy describes as one of the major platforms used to ascertain the level of preparedness of the final year Army cadets before being commissioned as officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces.
Cadets training generally has three major components: the academics, the military training, and then the character development. The aspects that you are seeing here in Sherry Hills covers two major components: the military training and the character development.
Coordinator of the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center, Sherry Hills, Jos, says the training is to make the cadets physically and mentally alert in carrying out their mandates of protecting the country.
Because of the regular course from the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center and other courses which they undertake, they are able to curb the insurgency in the country up to this limit.
In Jos, Yildik Danladi, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission in Plateau State has sensitized prospective voters on online registration in major streets of Jos. Grace Akwekotip has details.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has been doing a lot of media campaign for residents who have not yet registered to register against the forthcoming elections in 2023. This time, the campaign has taken a personal dimension as personnel took to the streets with posters demonstrating the needs for citizens to get registered.
The intention, let the people of Plateau State know that continuous voter registration has started and it is continuing until about a year.
Residents were enlightened on the processes of the registration.
All citizens of Plateau State should come out en masse and in good time get registered, because with the cards in their hands they can decide who to vote for, because without the cards you can never vote.
The exercise is expected to capture those who have not registered as well as those who want to change their voters' points, amongst others. In Jos, Grace Akwegoti, NTA News.
This is Nationwide. More reports with Lydia in Abuja.
Many thanks, Felicia. The Federal Road Safety Corps has successfully recorded 12% reduction in road traffic crashes during the just concluded 2021 Eid al-Kabir Salah Special Patrol operations that held nationwide. Corps Public Education Officer BC Kazim said this in a press release. Oyeyemi Ajayi has more.
A total of 6,055 offenders were arrested for committing 7,609 offenses between the 16th and 25th July 2021, being the period that the operations lasted. According to the Corps Public Education Officer, BC Kazim, a total of 108 road traffic crashes were recorded as against 123 in the same period in 2019, representing 12% reduction. With the directive issued by the Corps Marshal to ensure compliance with established traffic laws, the Corps covered 1,575 routes, impounded 3,191 vehicles, representing 2% increase in impoundment, aside other achievements. The Corps spokesperson revealed that the decrease recorded is largely attributed to several coordinated factors, which includes the establishment of station offices in almost all the 774 local government areas in Nigeria, intensified public enlightenment and sensitization campaigns held nationwide in collaboration with key stakeholders in the road transportation sector, as well as effective patrol operations. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
The Cardinal Onaiyekan Foundation for Peace has admitted 62 freshmen across the African continent for the 2021-2022 International Fellowship Program on Interreligious Dialogue, Conflict Transformation and Mediation Strategies. Kenneth Nanim has more.
It is pleasure before business for participants of the 2021-2022 edition of the International Training for Community and Religious Leaders of Diverse Faith and Cultural Backgrounds, the media and other state actors across Africa, a program initiated by the Cardinal Onaiyekan Foundation in 2018 to engage, inspire and equip them with skills for interfaith dialogue, conflict resolution and mediation strategies for the attainment of peace.
I'm sure that during this one-year program, you will improve your capacities and explore better ways of networking for peace.
With conflicts and other forms of insecurity in African sub-regions, this group is expected to have intensive tutorials on peace-building initiatives through insightful interactions on conflict resolution, advancement of good governance, promotion of security, justice and fairness.
I believe by acquiring knowledge and experience from this fellowship program will aid me in facilitating the work of my organization.
The media is one of the body that promote peace. So this is one of the reasons that I'm here, so that my reporting and my presentation will be in a way that will promote peace.
I hope to go home with more knowledge on peace, conflict resolution and transformation, mediation and dialogue.
This dinner also provided opportunity to evaluate performance in the last 3 years and to chart a new course towards addressing various conflicts within the African region for a better continent. Kenneth Nani, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide. Don't forget to be a star with NTA as we wage war against rape and rapists. I'm Lydia Odije-Ochi. Do have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.